Hello YouTube, and welcome aboard the Queen Mary 2. This is just about the end of my first transatlantic crossing from England to New York. 5 days on the open ocean, first time for me. Quite a difference. And it was also my 5th cruise with Cunard and the 3rd travel aboard this magnificent ship. And I just wanted to share a few impressions from this last week. Actually, it was 9 days. We boarded in Hamburg, and then we moved on from Southampton to New York, where we will arrive tomorrow. But since I have a running history with this ship and enjoyed its services and conveniences in different levels of service classes, I would like to share my impression with you about how I perceived the ship during this travel. The first one post you know what, and I think that you know what has a very big influence on what I lived through this last week here. But I would like to start out with the pros, and I will not give you the classic runaround tour, cabin tour. You will find those plenty on YouTube. That's nothing I want to add about. I just would like to pick out those subjects, those specific items that stood out to me, especially in contrast to what I used to know about this ship, or the experience I used to make here. So, first and foremost, on the pro side, the service, the restaurant. I was traveling this time in Queen's Grill class. The quality of food and the attention to detail is just as good as it always was. The service quality of the restaurant team borders on clairvoyance and telepathy. They read you every mind. They remember every special need or wish you have. It is magical. It's a service you would probably only get from your restaurant if you go there every day and know the waiter personally. But here they get to know you so quickly and get accustomed to your likes and dislikes. Fantastic, just fantastic. The staff is 5 stars, 6 if I could give it, and second to none, and worth every penny. Also the presentation of your food, the choice of wine you get, nothing to complain about that. Along with that is the general calmness of the ship. With that I not only mean how quiet the engines are, how stable it is even in rough weather. It is just the general atmosphere. Of course, this is not one of those holiday ships that has like 4 discos, water slides and everything. It's more old-fashioned, it's more sedate. It's also more for the, let's say, advanced demographic groups. But apart from that, also the quietness of the staterooms, the cabins. You hardly hear any noises from the neighboring rooms. It's quieter than most hotels. So that adds to the general feeling of relaxation and serenity that I would also associate with this kind of travel, and especially with Cunard as a self-described first-rate ship line. And also very, very good and very helpful on this trip, Cunard finally introduced reasonable Wi-Fi plans. So gone are the days of the dreadful minute plans, which ate up your contingency if you failed to log out, and they were making you pay through your nose for well, just really, really low usage times, and it was a real dread. So that changed in March. They now have plans which go for $15 a day, so that is about the same you would pay on other cruise ships, especially Carnival cruise ships. That's a big delight. You can also pay it out of your cruise credit if you have them, or onboard credit. So and along with your membership levels, your Cunard memberships, you also get your respective bonus, and that will be deducted from the total amount of Wi-Fi. And also, I must say, the quality of the Wi-Fi in the general areas of the ship is really good. But there's one really bad thing, and hang on for that, because that will be the end of this video, and it's a big one. So, and with that we come to the cons, and unfortunately there are quite far more than I wish I would have to list. But considering that this ship had a 2-year hiatus during you know what, and Cunard would have had time to do some small repairs of the interior, I was very sad to see that they didn't. And it comes especially into view if you're looking at areas like the planetarium, which they boast, rightfully though, to be the only one at sea. So it's, well, may not be a selling point, but it certainly is an item you wouldn't find on any other cruise ship as of now, and it has quite a few things going on a daily basis. Many lectures are happening there. Also, it's a ship cinema, so it is quite frequented. And you have these two kinds of seats, the one with the unmovable backrest, and those, especially the red ones in the middle for the planetarium, which have this movable backrest, which could lay back so you could watch the projection better. And I would say roughly about 10, maybe even 15% of these seats are broken in one way or the other and unusable. Either the whole backrest is gone, or the front doesn't fold down, or one hinge is broken and they are awkward to use. So that stands out, and it stands out unpleasantly. Along with that, that's a minor peeve, but anyhow, within the projection dome, you have these diodes, and a whole segment of that is just dead. Not during the planetarium projections, mind you, but in that standby mode where they have these diodes glowing in the sky, as you can see on the photo. The other things is that for the entire journey, a whole 9 days, 2 of the elevators in stairwell D, which is the one at the back of the ship, and also the one that leads down to the grill restaurants, were broken the entire time. Just the middle one was operational, and especially for the guests which travel in grill class, which can't pass through the section of the specialty restaurant of the King's Court restaurant, which is then cordoned off and not usable to go through. They rather take that elevator on staircase D. So that was quite a turn down, and I didn't see any effort to repair those during the travel. So that was quite a bummer, especially if you look at the typical Cunard cruiser. You have quite a few people traveling either with strollers or walking on the cane, so they don't need these elevators just for convenience, but to get from deck to deck, and that's really uncomfortable and yeah, not really helpful for these guests, especially considering that they're traveling in grill class. The next thing is pure technicality, but also quite bothersome. Cunard made the effort during the refit in 2016 to put these wonderful, huge LCD or LED TV screens in the cabins, which are magnificent. I think they're 40 inches, so really huge and nice. But the quality of content you get, well, not the intellectual quality, but the quality of the images, is so pitiful, especially considering that they are coming from inboard media servers. So when you're flipping through channels, you got all kinds of different aspect ratios of the movies, And none of them is quite right. So it's always off. Either they are stretched or punched, compressed, whatever. And also considering that these are at least full HD displays, maybe even 4K. I didn't bother to check, but let's say they're just full HD. The data rate is so reduced that you got a feeling you're sitting in front of a 70s TV set, because it's all pixelated, just not right. It feels like you're watching YouTube on the lowest resolution, and I included a few photos from that. That also goes along with the recordings from the on-chip lectures. Every lecture is recorded, so you can watch them later on your Stay-Tuned television. But the quality is so poor that even if you got a full screen projection of, let's say, the background presentation of the lecturer, it is all kind of unreadable. It's very poor lighting. It's just not fun to watch, and it really does not bring honor to the format of the really world-class lectures they hold here. So that is something Cunard should certainly think about upgrading as soon as possible. And while we are at the digital things, that is when we talk about the Wi-Fi again. Because it's one thing to have good and fast and reliable and also quite affordable now Wi-Fi within the chip, but it is a real nuisance if you can't use your Wi-Fi within your cabin or stateroom, which was, as far as I got from many passengers here on deck 9, the regular case. So you would see people sitting on the corridor just to have proper Wi-Fi, and if you ask the personnel, their best advice was, well, leave the door open, then the signal is stronger. Yeah, that's the kind of privacy I would like to have on a ship like this. If I just want to surf the web, that I keep my cabin door open so I can use the Wi-Fi. The other alternative, by the way, would be to step out on the balcony where the signal is also a bit stronger. But considering this is a transatlantic and you have like even a high summer, lots of rain, wind, and so you wouldn't like to sit there at 9 degrees Celsius or 40 Fahrenheit. That's not a place you would like to be for too long. Not very comfortable at all. So that is definitely something, and it was a peeve of many passengers I spoke with during this cruise. So their help was, they, at least those that could here on Queen's Cruise, they went to the Concierge Lounge right in the middle of deck 9, where you could sit down, have a coffee or a pastry, and you have a good stable signal that you can use with a little comfort. And downside, of course, since it's indoor, you don't have any windows. Okay, you're at sea, so that is probably not much you could watch through the window anyway, besides water or clouds or fog. But anyhow, that is certainly not the expectations that most of the travelers, especially here on deck 9, have. And that is definitely something, Cunard, yes, I'm talking to you, you should look into very, very shortly, please. Because the infrastructure is really good. They have these Aruba hotspots all around the ship, and they work just perfectly, but the signal strength is just too weak to reach through the metal doors and the whatever technology is behind the bathroom doors to really have a stable signal within your stateroom. And while I'm at upgrading things, I would also suggest, dear Cunard, when you bring this ship in for refit, think how many people, 70, 80 and above, which from what I saw is the main demographic on this ship, really enjoy stepping over that high wall into the jacuzzi tub. Maybe it would be better to reduce those to just a few staterooms, because I guess most people would rather have a shower to walk in, or even a bidet, so you could throw that bathtub and replace it with a shower and a bidet next without using additional space within the bathtub area. Well, that's the summary. I hope you it was helpful for you. It was a little impromptu. I really didn't intend to do a vlog on that subject, but I also didn't want to go off board without taking the opportunity to share my thoughts with you. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. By the way, I have no intention to become a cruise ship critic in any shape or form. This is a one-offer, I guess. So anyhow, but if you got anything of comments to share, you know how to put them down below the video. And yeah, well, maybe I'll be doing anything like that again. Whoever knows what. But thank you for watching, and maybe seeing you soon. Bye then.